guys. Welcome to Grammar and Writing, Lesson 88. Let's get started with your vocabulary. The first word is slang. Remember we're talking about diction. That's the vocabulary we started in our last lesson was concerning diction. So slang words. What's slang? Those would be a language used by a certain group of people when talking to each other. Not an idioma. It's a language in your specific idioma. So there's English slang, there's Spanish slang, there's German slang, but it's used by a certain group of people. It's like these certain words that certain people understand. They have a certain meaning with that particular group. For example, to describe something as bunk or rad is to use slang. Even the word cool was once considered slang because only young people would have used that word. Now everybody uses it. But there are some words that are considered slang and then they end up becoming so popular they're not really slang anymore. But slang is just referred to by a group of particular people. If you use the word homie, that would be considered slang because that's normally kind of not a gangster word, but it's used by certain types of people. Okay, but now it is becoming more popular, but it is considered slang. Trite diction. Trite. Maybe you've heard someone say that's trite. Maybe you've never heard that word before in your life. What is it? It would be overused phrases. They're so overused that they're ineffective, so they're not something that you should use in writing. They're usually expressions like similes, and they're just very, very common. For example, saying her face was red as a beet is trite. This is something that's used so often. When you want to describe something as being very, very red, you'd say red as a beet. And our last one would be vulgar diction. Vulgar diction. You may have heard that word vulgar. That's language that is crude. So crude is the idea of kind of like rude and having to do with a bathroom. Inappropriate, excuse me, inappropriate or lacking in good taste. It's just not refined. For example, the convict's vulgar language revealed his lack of refinement. So his lack of a good, cultured education. He uses words that are just not nice. They're rude. They're unkind. So let's practice now. Fill in the blank with the correct vocabulary word. Number 1. Words like cool, rad, and bunk, and fresh are sometimes used as blank. Number 2. To describe something as cold as ice is to use a blank expression. And number 3. Crude, unrefined phrases are blank. Okay, pause your video if you still need to write it down. Number 1, words like cool, rad, fresh, and bunk are sometimes used as slang, just by certain groups of people. It's not words that are really in the dictionary for you to use. Number 2, to describe something as cold as ice is to use a trite expression. Number 3, crude, unrefined phrases are vulgar. Vulgar. Okay, that was it for vocabulary. Let's talk about your writing page today. So today we're learning to elaborate with incidents and examples. So let's start with what an incident even is. That's an event that happens or an occurrence. So an event or an occurrence is an incident. So when you want to explain a point using like a little story of something that happened, you would use an incident. It would be an event that happened. Not the whole story, then that we call it an anecdote, but just kind of using an event to give support to what you're saying. This is what I'm saying because this event happened. That's an incident. Incident. Next we have example. An example. That would be a case or an instance of something. That's your example. Math, science, and history are examples of school subjects. They're those cases, those instances of something. So examples are usually much shorter than incidents. An incident is an event. It's something that happens. An example would just be basically a thing that supports what you're saying. So your homework is to do what? It's to complete Elaborating with Incidents and Examples, page 75. That's what it is. To complete each of the following, sorry guys, to complete each of the following topic sentences. So I believe you have 3 on your paper. Then use examples and incidents to develop any 2 of the sentences into paragraphs. As a pre-writing step, list on a separate sheet of paper examples and incidents that support the topic sentence. Write your rough drafts on the separate sheet, then write your final drafts on this page. So look at the topic sentences. You first need to finish them as a sentence. Then go to a separate piece of paper and put some examples and incidents. So some examples are just things to back it up. Incidents are events. So then list them out, how they would describe or how they would support your topic sentence. You need to use both for each one, for each topic sentence. Write your rough drafts on that separate sheet of paper after you finish your brainstorming. Then write the final draft on this page. You need to have at least 4 to 5 sentences per topic sentence. Okay, so the 4 to 5 sentences do not include your topic sentence. All right? Okay. Let me know if you have any questions about what to do for this particular grammar assignment. Have a great day, guys. I love you very much, and I will see you in our next lesson.